He's Chris Kluwe, now introduced as the Raiders punter. He's got a book called Beautifully Unique Sparkle Ponies on Myths, Morons, Free Speech, Football, and Assorted Absurdities. It'll be released tomorrow. He joins us here in the Man Cave. Why did you decide to write a book?
Well, I wrote a letter to Delegate Burns. And then after I wrote that letter, about 7 or 8 publishers contacted me and said, you should write a book. And I figured these are the people in charge of writing books. And that would be like if 7 or 8 NFL teams said, you should play football. So I said, okay, well, sure, let's write a book.
Anything off limits?
Not really.
Should there have been some things off limits?
Possibly.
Well, what are you going to catch heat for?
There's a couple things I'll probably catch heat for. I know I did a piece on the Second Amendment. I'm sure there will be some people entertained by that. I did a piece on the Pope's Twitter account. That's I'm sure some people will be entertained by that. And then I think Salon just ran one today on John Galt. It was on objectivism, kind of Ayn Rand's philosophy, and got some interesting Twitter messages about that one.
What about teammates?
No, didn't do anything like that. Yeah, no, actually, that is the one off limits thing. I didn't do anything football related. I did one piece on kind of what it's like to punt, and then one on injuries that I've had over the years, but nothing really like here's what happened with this person, or Brett was in the locker room at this time and this happened. So.
Did you like Favre?
I did. I thought he was a great guy. He was one of the best competitors I've ever been around. You can tell he really enjoyed the game.
Should there be special rules for special athletes?
Aren't there already?
Well, but as a teammate viewing this, it's one thing. For me, I remember Cal Ripken stayed in a different hotel. Mm-hmm. And then some of his teammates were like, why does he get to do that? And Ripken said, no, it'll benefit you guys. You don't get caught up in people waiting for autographs there. But he stayed in a different hotel. But you're fine with that?
I think it really depends on how the person handles it. I mean, if it's something like Cal Ripken, I can see that, being a benefit to the team. If it's something like Barry Bonds, I can see that being a detriment. It really boils down to individual people and how they mesh with their teammates. And that was one of the things that I really liked about Brett was that, he meshed really well with everyone there. He was in the locker room to have fun.
I was wondering about the full story here, what you were told with the Vikings when they released you, because what I saw was, or what I read was, it was performance based. It wasn't that you were a guy who was outspoken. You're not afraid to say something, but that was all speculation.
Yeah, I'm not in the meetings with coaches and GMs, so I don't know what's said.
Why do you think you were cut?
I think that might be a second book after I'm done playing football. No, I don't know. I mean, like I said, I'm not in those meetings, and really all I can do is trust in my body of work, and trust in what I've put out on the field over the years, which has been statistically the best punter the Vikings have had over the past 8 years.
If you were quiet, would you still be the Vikings punter?
I don't know. I mean, that's a hypothetical that possibly, but again, maybe they just wanted to move in another direction, and without being in those meetings, without knowing the rationale,
but as good as you are, if you're at the top of your game, the NFL doesn't release players like that unless you got too expensive.
Right? Were you
too expensive?
I don't think so.
For being a punter.
I think I was around like the 1.4, 1.5 mark this year, and if they had wanted to, they could have renegotiated back down to a 1-year veteran minimum, which would have only counted, I think, $580 against the cap is the veteran minimum. So I don't know if it was money or not.
Did Raiders say anything about this? I mean, the Raiders bring in somebody into a circus, or what's been a circus for a long time. They have an issue with what you say and write and tweet and.
No, just the standard. Make sure you represent the team well. Focus on football, and don't let things become a distraction.
Why has sexuality been such an issue? And you've spoken out on this in behalf of, but recently that it went from nobody's talking about it to now everybody's talking about it. The NFL Combine. I can ask you if you like women. Apparently,
yeah.
With what you're having with a gay team. Do you think you've had a gay teammate?
I'm sure I've had a gay teammate. It's one of those things where if you look at it statistically, there are 1,800 players in the NFL. And I think on the last census, about 10% of the population identified as gay. And if you say that the NFL selects, for guys who may not necessarily be gay just because of the way the sport is, the macho tendencies and stuff. Let's say we drop it to 1% of the NFL population is gay. That's still 18 players in the NFL, which is over half the teams. So statistically, you have played either with or against a gay player at some point in your career.
But to be an openly gay teammate in the NFL seems like the last. Is it possible?
I think it is, because in the locker room, guys are more interested in winning games because that's what keeps you on the team. That's what keeps you getting a paycheck. And really, it's not like having an openly gay teammate in the locker room means that all of a sudden there's going to be orgies in the shower. I mean, that's just not going to happen. And it kind of exposes that narcissistic sense of thinking that I'm a straight guy, and if an openly gay guy sees me, he's going to be so attracted to me that he's just going to jump my bones right then and there. Not the case. You're probably not all that.
I wonder, though, in that mentality, in that world, in what you must project to be a football player, that it goes against all of those stereotypes there to say, I'm going to accept this because I'm a macho guy and it's a macho sport. And is it going to be more fans' reaction or teammates' reaction that would prevent somebody from being, coming out openly gay?
I think it really depends on the surrounding circumstances. I think most teammates would probably be okay with it. The prevailing attitude in the NFL is leave me alone and I'll leave you alone. It's kind of a live and let live philosophy. And I think you're seeing that because a lot of guys playing in the NFL these days are young kids. The NFL is a young man's game, and society is moving towards more tolerance and more acceptance. So you're starting to see those kids, those young men start playing in the NFL. So their philosophy is, why do I care? Why does this matter to me? I have other things to worry about, like the economy or other, real pressing issues that are going to make an actual difference. And so I don't think teammates would necessarily have a problem with it. I think fans, some might not. But again, that's a reflection of society as a whole.
He's Chris Kluwe, the Raiders punter. The new book is Beautifully Unique Sparkle Ponies, joining us on the program. The reaction we've gotten when we were talking about some of the things you said, we were quoting, is people think you're gay. Yeah. Like you're sort of saying it, and then the book cover, you're on a sparkle pony. And do you get reaction that people think you're gay?
I've heard that before, and my wife thinks it's really funny. So for the cover, the best part about that cover, by the way, is that was the picture shoot was taken in my driveway of my house as my new neighbors were moving in.
And you're on a sparkle pony.
And I'm on this carousel horse, photo shoot equipment all around me.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Yeah, welcome to the neighborhood. So yeah, that was pretty awesome. But no, it's one of those things where, I'm sure some people think I'm gay, but I'm not. I'm married to a wife. I have 2 beautiful daughters, and it's, that's who I am. You don't have to be gay to support gay people.
If we go into a bar when you're single, at what point can you convince somebody that I'm a punter and it's pretty cool? Like, I'm an NFL player. As soon as you say I'm an NFL player, and then they go, oh, what, are you a quarterback?
A receiver?
Yeah. So what happens when you're trying to convince somebody, I'm a punter?
It depends how much they know about football. Because if they don't know a lot about football, they're like, oh, you play in the NFL. I have no idea what any of these positions are. Punter? Sure, that's amazing.
Because you can't go out and say, I'll go out and kick some for you, and you'll be impressed.
Well, it depends what you kick. I mean, if it's someone else in the groinal region, then they might be impressed.
Would you like to? We practice blocking punts.
Yes, I heard about
here
that.
In the man cave.
Yeah.
During the break, would you allow? Seaton's pretty good. Seaton can go after it. Not afraid. You got to be able to give up your body here.
Okay. Yeah. You got to lay out.
How do you avoid? Can you see, like, a split second? When somebody's getting ready to block you. What goes through your mind?
Well, I've only had 1 punt blocked my entire career, and that was because I dropped the snap. So it was on me. I actually have a very quick get off time. That's what she said. Hey-yo. But no, it's one of those things you can sense it in your peripheral vision when guys are getting too close, and it gives you just that extra little bit of urgency that I need to get the ball off now. Otherwise, there's a chance they might get a hand on it.
Have you ever almost whiffed?
Yes, in Chicago. It's I think it ended up being probably like an 18 or 19 yard punt. It was pretty amazing.
But it was the wind?
Yeah, it's there's that split second between when you drop the ball and when your foot hits it that you have absolutely no control over what happens.
Can you describe the perfect punt?
The perfect punt is one that's not returned for a touchdown. That's kind of the antithesis of
how many
punt.
How many have you had returned?
8 or 9, I think. We had a couple years.
Has Hester gotten you?
Yeah, he's gotten like 3 or 4 on this.
How many career tackles do you have, Chris?
I actually know that one. I have 8 career tackles, and I am tied with Jerry Rice, greatest of all time.
But you might not want to have too many tackles as a punter.
No, that's not a good sign. No. the year that Pat McAfee led the Colts in special teams tackles, not a good thing.
Have you thrown a pass?
I haven't. In practice, I have. I can actually throw pretty well. I was a pitcher in baseball growing up.
Could you throw better than Tebow?
I'm going to plead the fifth on that one.
Well, then say yes.
I don't want to denigrate another member of this fine profession.
Well, no, he's a professional quarterback.
Yeah.
So can you throw as a professional quarterback?
If the benchmark is Tim Tebow, yes, I think I could probably make it as an NFL quarterback.
Over under 20 rushing yards in your career?
Probably under. It's I think I have like negative 30.
Yeah. How many you got, Paulie?
Negative 19
Negative
so far.
19.
Ooh, all right.
You're not that far behind Adrian Peterson.
Yeah, no, just a few good games. I'll catch them.
The book is Beautifully Unique Sparkle Ponies. Chris Kluwe. He's in his driveway, and he's on a carousel pony.
If you look at the back, I'm levitating a football. It's pretty amazing.
That's what it is?
Use the force.
Yeah. So there you have it. Chris, good to see you. During the break, we'll see if you, Seton will try to block a punt or two. Is that all right?
How's your liability insurance?
We can get some if we need to. By the way, have you played Flinch ball before?
I don't think I have. What's that?
You're about to.
All right.
So we'll put you. These guys are very good at flinch ball. So it's only fair if they're going to try to block your punt that you have to play flinch ball.
Fair enough.
Do you have your protective cup on?
I have brass balls. So
okay. You're going to need it. All right. Your phone calls, best and worst of the weekend. Bob Uecker next hour. He's Chris Kluwe, the Raiders punter, and the new book is Beautifully Unique Sparkle Ponies. Okay. Now, we have got to do a tutorial first. This is flinch ball, Chris.
Okay.
So you must stand.
You got to go eye
hands
contact.
behind your back.
Okay.
And you got to go eye contact. You can't flinch. Go, McLovin. Oh.
All right, now you're up, Chris.
Okay. So I just stand here and let you throw things at me?
No, you can throw. You get to throw first, but you must do one bounce.
One bounce?
It has to be one bounce.
Now, am I trying to hit him or?
Yes, you are. Absolutely.
Oh, dear. That had
Like
speed
that.
on it.
That did.
Yeah, it's tough to get these to bounce. Let's try one more.
Yeah, that's why. No, all right.
Okay.
Last one, and then it's Chris's turn.
Got some inner thigh there. That was close.
Chris, assume the position.
Assume the position. All right.
I'll take
brass balls.
Oh, man, you wanted to flinch.
Oh, last one.
Paulie.
It's the angry face. He can't handle it.
Right there, dude.
Seton, you're going to try to, which ball do you want to try to block?
We going halfy?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, you'll do that one? Okay.
He's a pretty good punt blocker.
Yeah, I know. Seton's not afraid.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on.
All right. How hard do you want me to kick this?
I'll hold it over.
Don't put out the light.
I was gonna say, so just kind of tap it. Well, even a pooch is gonna put out a light. I'll tap it. All right,
Okay, ready? Go.
Yeah, that would have broken a rib.
Chris, you can do better than that.
All right, we'll do one more.
No, that's seriously.
I'm going to come around like a preseason kick.
Okay, ready?
You got to go protected knee.
So
I sort of have this form.
punt blocking technique, you actually want to put your hands out like that. So replace, and you don't want to put them out until the very last instant because you want to replace your eyes with your hands. So you come around to the foot side like that. So that way you don't run into the punter.
You don't lay out like Superman?
Right, yeah, no, you don't Superman straight into the punter because if you miss, it's a roughing the kicker penalty. Oh. So you always want to go past to the side, or if you're coming across.
Do one more, see.
One more?
Yeah, see if you can.
Well, we got a little nippy there. Hey now, thank you for coming in, man.
Yeah, no problem.
Appreciate
Thank
it, dude.
you.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Good luck with the book.
Thank you. I appreciate that. All right.
Break.
I just throw this back.